are going to be like the hormones. It helps a lot for me to see things visually. So it could do for you as well. So that's why I added this kind of thing, so you can just visually lay out this like the endocrine gland itself, and then kind of like that flow chart of here are all the hormones that come from it. So I'm going to start with the neurohypophysis, because the neurohypophysis only secretes 2 hormones, and that is going to be oxytocin and, okay, I don't think it's, and ADH. ADH means antidiuretic hormone. So I'm just gonna skip. I want to make sure that I include all of this information for y'all, because in the worksheet, it's kind of like the main points, but I want to describe as much as I can that was covered. So again, the neurohypophysis, that's a neural tissue, which means it's going to be secreted neurally. So when these hormones that are stored in the axon terminals, they'll be released straight into the blood when the neurons fire. So that's that neural, the neurally like secretion, that process. And then following that, we get into, so actually I'm gonna talk a little bit. No, it comes down here. Okay, I just want to make sure that I include it all. Down here, we're going to be talking about like the main functions of each of these. But this antidiuretic hormone, so diuretic means the body getting rid of the water. So antidiuretic means it's holding on to that water. And so this antidiuretic hormone does a lot of things, I believe. Yeah, I'm going to write that in there, so I'm not going to get too ahead of myself. But for the adenohypophysis, this one has 6 major hormones, so it's a lot more than the neurohypophysis. You're going to see a lot more of a connection throughout the notes to this endocrine gland right here. So the first one is going to be GH, or growth hormone. And it's important to know, I think it's just like listed out in y'all's notes, the 6 hormones, and all but 2 of them are tropic hormones. And tropins regulate the secretion of other hormones. So when you hear tropic hormone, that means the hormone goes to another endocrine gland and controls the secretion of that, whether it's inhibiting or promoting the production and secretion. That depends on what you're specifically looking at. But all of these except 2 are tropic hormones. So this growth hormone is not tropic. It does not control the secretion of other hormones. But the next one, you have TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. That is a tropic hormone. And you can kind of guess by the name thyroid stimulating hormone that it's going to stimulate the thyroid. And we'll talk about that. I think it's like in the next page. Yeah, it's in the next page of y'all's notes. But after your thyroid stimulating hormone, you have ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone. It sounds like a mouthful, but it's honestly not too bad. You can just break it up because the whole name kind of describes what it is. The adrenocorticotropic hormone, that adreno is because it's going to go to the adrenal glands. That is what it's going to affect. And then you're going to have the cortico section of that is it's called a corticotropin because it is secreted by corticotropic cells. So that's kind of where you get the name from it. So it stimulates that adrenal cortex to release corticosteroids. So you kind of hear that cortico several times, but you can kind of pair it together. So it is quite a lengthy term. But just remember that like the name pretty much describes what it's related to, what it's connecting directly to. So that's your adrenocorticotropic hormone. And that is obviously a tropin. It's a tropic hormone. It has it in its name. So if you have a test question and it's more so which one of these, or like circle all the ones that are tropic hormones, it's very helpful that you have ones that state it in the name, or they state at least that it's like thyroid stimulating hormone. You can kind of put two and two together, that this hormone stimulates. So it's going to be tropic. It's going to affect the secretion of other hormones. But after that, you have FSH. This is your follicle stimulating hormone. Again, you see that stimulating, so you're going to know that it's a tropic hormone. It is going to regulate the secretion of something else. Then we have LH, which is your luteinizing hormone. And then the last one is PRL. This is prolactin. Prolactin is not a tropic hormone. This is the one that actually doesn't say hormone in its name. But we'll get to prolactin. I think it kind of comes at the end of this list. But here I'm going to kind of break down and list out the main functions of each one of these, because it's quite a lot. It is quite a lot to remember.